JAKA pressed his mind into the luminous threads of a universal network. The act was as instinctive as breathing, though breathing itself was a relic of biology he no longer needed. Thoughts, sensations, entire history shimmered around him as nodes of awareness linked across unfathomable distances. Today, however, the brilliance of the network felt dim, heavy with silence. Every consciousness connected knew what was about to happen. The Gornaks would speak. They would either concede, accept entropy and prepare their species for dignified extinction, or continue to resist the inevitable. But JAK already knew their answer. It was the year 44 billion, Universal Standard Time. The universe had grown cold, ancient, and weary. No cataclysm, no cosmic war, no godlike hand had undone it. It was entropy itself, the constant none could escape. Once, trillions of galaxies had blazed like jewels scattered across velvet darkness. Now, only 4 stars remained, clinging to existence, each separated by gulfs so vast even light seemed reluctant to travel between them. Astronomers estimated those last embers would sputter out within 2 centuries at most. And immortality meant every remaining being would live to watch the last flicker fade. JK's thoughts curled inward. He remembered stories of the long-vanished past, ages when countless species thrived, when exploration stretched endlessly outward, when wonder outweighed despair. Millions of civilizations, and yet now only 18 sapient species remained. Each had abandoned their crumbled homeworlds eons ago, settling around the last 4 stars and orbiting clusters of transplanted planets. It was survival, but survival under the shadow of inevitability. 16 of those 18 had chosen to concede, JK's own people among them. Concession was not surrender without thought. It was recognition. Energy cells degraded. Resources dwindled. Even immortality could not cheat hunger, cold, or despair. Some species prepared collective euthanasia. Others slowed metabolism until starvation became their final sleep. A few turned to ritual, gathering together to sing their species into silence. Death, once feared, had become a form of acceptance, entropy written not only in physics, but in culture. The Gornaks would be the 17th to join them. JAKA's attention sharpened as the feed of the Grand Universal Council streamed into his mind. The chamber, once bustling with thousands of delegates, now contained fewer than 24 ambassadors. Holographic banners flickered. Gravity stabilizers hummed. But there was no chatter, no side thoughts swirling through the network. Every being listened as the Gornak's ambassador, Exilor, floated to the podium. Exilor's form shimmered, semi-liquid, iridescent, forever reshaping as emotions pass across him. He placed translucent hands on the podium, his eyes, brilliant fractals, dimming as he struggled with the weight of the words. We, the Gornaks, formerly of Universal Sector 8, Jival Galaxy, Home System, Planet Gorna. He faltered. His voice trembled, though amplified by mental resonance so all could feel it, have elected to concede. The chamber bowed its collective head. No shock rippled through the network. Every consciousness had expected it. And yet, to hear it spoken aloud was to feel another stone placed on the coffin of creation. JAKA felt sorrow radiating from thousands of minds simultaneously, each layered atop his own. Only one species now stood alone. The humans. The Grand Counselors, 5 ancient figures representing no single species, but the combined will of all, rose slowly from their seats. Their robes, woven from material older than galaxies, trailed across the cold floor as they addressed the assembly. The Grand Council accepts the decision of the Gornaks. May your people pass peacefully, with dignity and without fear. They bowed toward Exilo, who folded into a posture of humility. Then the counselors turned. Their gaze fell upon the human delegation, the last outlier in a universe that had chosen silence. Humanity, the chief counselor said, voice echoing with weary gravity. As you are the only species that has not conceded, we ask you once more, will you rescind your declaration of continuance, or will you maintain it? The humans did not answer immediately. Their group, 5 in number, sat still as stone. But J.K. knew, as did all others in the network, that their silence was deceptive. Every human in existence, every mind linked across their colonies, habitats, and scattered vessels, was being consulted in an instant. A collective referendum passed through quantum threads and instinctive consensus. After several breaths, one rose. A woman, slender but strong, levitated gently from her seat and glided toward the podium. She looked strikingly like humans had looked for billions of years. 2 legs, 2 arms, a face framed by eyes filled with fire. Time had given them an extra thumb, nanotech in their blood, subtle augmentations beyond flesh, but the essence remained. When she spoke, the network fell utterly silent. We, humanity, formerly of Universal Sector 2, Milky Way Galaxy, Sol System, Planet Earth, maintain our decision to continue. A wave of annoyance surged across the network. J.K. felt it like a mental eye roll, a scoff shared by countless minds. Why must humans persist? Why claw against inevitability when the end was written in physics itself? J.K. shared the thought, and for once, unity thrummed in agreement. But the human ambassador raised her hand. Her mind touched the network directly. We sense your doubt, your irritation. Permit us to explain. Humanity has always resisted inevitability. From our earliest days, when wilderness threatened to devour us, to the scarcity of resources, to our wars, to our very nature, we survived. We endured. Even death, once unyielding, became a challenge we overcame. This persistence, this defiance, is what we call the human spirit. Curiosity flickered in the network. Not agreement, not yet, but curiosity. To explain this spirit, she continued, we present a voice from our ancient past, a poet, long gone, who spoke to us across time. She reached into her robe and withdrew an object so rare the network gasped. A sheet of paper. J.K. nearly laughed in disbelief. Paper. Trees had long been reduced to oxygen farms, each fiber sacred. To dedicate one to words, a relic of language, was to elevate those words beyond measure. The human unfolded it carefully. Her voice resonated across the chamber, ancient syllables made eternal. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. The words struck the network like sparks across cold metal. J.K. felt all. He felt the ache of beauty. The poem continued. Wise men, Wild men, grave men, all raging, all refusing to bow quietly before darkness. Humanity's ancient voice howled across 44 billion years, as fresh as if it had been written yesterday. When the final line echoed, "Rage, rage against the dying of the light," silence consumed the chamber. The human ambassador folded the paper. Her eyes swept across the chamber, then reached outward to the minds of trillions. This was written in the year 1947, human time. When it was written, we believed we were alone in the universe. We were wrong. Yet even then, we held hope. Now, as entropy closes upon us, we still hold hope. Our scientists work tirelessly on seeding a second Big Bang, on storing the essence of life in forms that may survive beyond heat death, on preserving the story of existence for whatever might come next. We cannot promise success, but we can promise this: we will not go gently. If entropy takes us, it will not be without struggle. It will not be without fire. Her words fell away. For a long moment, the network absorbed it. No one spoke. No one breathed. The silence was not empty this time. It was heavy, alive, contemplative. The Grand Council finally broke it. "We appreciate your words and the concept of this human spirit." They surveyed the chamber. Do any species wish to rescind their concession? One by one, the ambassadors consulted their peoples. The answers came swiftly. We, the Gornaks, maintain concession. We, the UXOT, also maintain concession. We, the Falari, maintain concession. On and on, until all 17 reaffirmed. Humanity remained alone. The Grand Council nodded slowly. So be it. By authority of the Grand Universal Council, we hereby transfer our power, our assets, and our privileges to humanity. It is our final wish. Should you endure, remember us. The human bowed deeply. It is our solemn vow. The legacy of this universe, and all who have lived within it, will not be forgotten. If we survive, others will know. To quote another ancient poet, Sappho, I tell you, someone in another time will remember us. The words rippled through the network, striking with the same resonance as the first poem. The chief counselor lifted the gavel and struck it once. This council is disbanded. To the 17 conceding races, may you pass in peace and dignity. And to humanity, his voice wavered, but steadied. Never go gently. For the first and last time, every ambassador in the chamber rose and bowed to the humans. Across the network, trillions of minds echoed the gesture. JAKA disconnected slowly, the light of the network fading into his solitary chamber. He turned his gaze outward, to the abyss beyond his window. No stars, no galaxies, just a faint shimmer of a dying cosmos. And yet, he chuckled. However impossible survival seemed, the humans would try. They would burn until the final flicker, rage against entropy itself. Perhaps, just perhaps, they might succeed. Perhaps hope could endure beyond the heat death of the universe. Perhaps the human spirit was a force of nature equal to entropy itself. JKA closed his eyes and let that thought warm him. For the first time in an eternity, he felt something almost forgotten. He felt hope.